Am I the a-hole for asking a wedding guest to leave the room? I, 40 female, am a wedding photographer. To start, this story is a bit long, but let me give you some background. When I book a wedding, I make it very clear to the bride, we will call her Amber, 19, and groom, let's call him Sam, also 19. These are the rules. Number 1. No phones allowed in the ceremony. Number 2, if there are any photos they want private, please let me know. And number 3, I will not hold back to tell people to put their phones down or not to step in front of me. My most recent wedding happened this Friday. I knew within the first 15 minutes of guests arriving, including the groom's mother, let's call her Susan.
Classic Susan.
Classic Susan.
What a lazy Susan. I love lazy Susans. Anyways.
The bride's aunt, let's call her Karen, for good reason, that this would be a long day. Wow, I already feel like that's so loaded.
It's gonna be a long one.
I already know everything I need to know just because the mother is called Susan and the aunt is called Karen. During the ceremony, as Amber was walking down the aisle, Susan decided she wanted to place herself as close to the aisleway as I am, trying to capture the look on Sam's face. I did my best to work around her without actually placing myself in the aisle. Thankfully, as I have begun editing, I think I will be able to edit and possibly remove her from the photo. Thank God for Photoshop. Imagine if there was no such thing as Photoshop.
What would we do?
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
Have you seen like what they can do now with generative fill?
I have. It's crazy.
I could take a photo of me here and then I could be flying in the sky like a pink sunset or swimming on top of the ocean.
Photoshop should come up with like a remove Karen tool.
RK, we'll call it that.
It uses AI to automatically suss out the Karens in any photograph and they just remove them.
I think we're onto something. This is genius.
I'm gonna make a plugin.
Write that down.
This was only the beginning of her being in my way. The rest of the ceremony went beautifully. After the ceremony ended, everyone was asking to move to the reception hall so we could continue on with taking photos. After all the basics, family and wedding party photos, I asked everyone besides Amber and Sam to head out so we could get their solo and couple shots done. The session was one of the ones that they requested to stay private. Private! I made sure the room was empty before we began. We started with a beautiful shot of Amber propped up on the piano and Sam standing behind her. As I was posing them, I saw her, Karen.
Dun dun dun! Karen.
At the front door with her phone out recording. I sighed, took a deep breath, and turned to her. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I need you to leave the room. These photos are for the bride and groom only. Per their request, they don't want anyone recording or taking photos beside me. She huffed a bit, as they do, rolled her eyes and put her phone away and headed back to the reception. After this cue, us heading outside to get the photos of them under the beautiful arches and large wooden French doors. As I begin posing Amber in front of the big doors, here comes Susan. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Wait, can we make Susan like Jennifer Coolidge?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's so beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Are there hot dogs in there?
I need a hot dog real bad.
Now I want a hot dog.
Thank you, but please go inside. This is a private session. I said politely. I'm just watching, she retorted. I tried to hold in my bitch look face and smiled. I understand, but this was also a request by the bride and your son to keep things private, I said. Please go inside. I can't begin until you go, I said. Again, the huffy sigh, and I swear a tiny foot stomp.
It's a little tiny foot stomp.
Oh my god, this is so unreasonable.
I think of Lord Farquaad for some reason.
Yeah, totally. You would think this is where it ends. It doesn't. Now we go to the part where I think I may be the a-hole. During the father-daughter dance, here comes Karen with her phone to record the entire thing over my shoulder. I don't care if guest takes photos or videos of these moments, and neither did Amber or Sam, but she was directly over my shoulder and occasionally stepping in front of me to get close up. She did that on purpose. I'm telling you right now, because you told her to leave, and she was feeling petty, not endearing kind of petty, and then she just kind of was like, I took a deep breath and tried to take the red I was seeing to a light pink before I turned to her. Ma'am, Amber and Sam have paid me to do this job. I need you to stay out of my way or I'm gonna have to ask you to go sit down. I cannot capture these moments if you are constantly in my way and interrupting, I said, probably with a bit of sass. Imagine that she's so busy being petty that she ruins irreplaceable photos of you and your father. Are you divorced? Are they divorced, by the way?
You interested?
I know, but still, she's got to assert dominance, right? She's the director on set. She's been paid to do a job.
Yeah.
And she has to be stern.
I completely agree. And if she does not get the right shots that she was paid to get, that could in turn reflect badly on her.
And then she could get bad reputation and people don't want to work with her, maybe.
Yeah. It's a no from me.
I'm a freelancer, so I respect her. I got you. I'm on your side.
I'm on your side too, but it's also because I'm a photographer and I'm always on the photographer's side.
Yeah, me too.
I am family, Karen said. I get that, but this is my job and you're interfering. Now please step aside or go sit down. I snapped. Yes, snapped so hard, I'm pretty sure she got word whiplash. So yes, I do my best to be professional, but I had had enough. I worry I may have been too rude to her, and her entire table glared at me for the rest of the night. I worry I may not have handled this the right way. So am I the a-hole? Edit to answer the most common comment. Yes, the bride and groom did back me up. Oh, well, thank goodness for that.
Thank God they did.
They even tipped me the morning after for helping everything run smoothly. It would be one thing if this was the first time that Karen kind of got in the way and you had to tell her to like whack off, essentially. But she was clearly, in my opinion, doing this because you had initially kind of told her off. She felt some type of way about it. She was a little salty and she was kind of getting in your way a little bit. And it was deliberate. Like I'm telling you right now, it seemed deliberate. I mean, that would bother me too if I'm trying to do a job. Mike, how would you feel when you were setting up this shot? If, you know, I was worried about the argument we had this morning and I was just constantly looking over your shoulder and like telling you to do stuff and like getting in your way all the time. It would drive you absolutely insane.
It did drive me nuts when I was setting up the shot and we talked about the argument this morning. But let's not get into that.
You burnt.
No, honestly, like if you're in the zone, if you're doing your thing, you don't want to be bothered, right? Like I don't know what this person, Karen, was trying to do. I always side with the freelancer. This is a wedding. You have one shot at doing these shots, one opportunity.
I heard it in my head and then it went to you. You know when you hear a joke and then someone else says it? That's exactly what happened.
I'm just sure that like she was nervous, her knees were weak, and arms are heavy from carrying the camera. Sorry. No, but in all seriousness, she is under a lot of pressure to capture these moments.
For sure.
Like as someone who's like accidentally forgot to hit record in certain situations, your stomach drops. And if people are trying to get in the way of you because they want to sort of be a part of the moment, that's one thing. But it sounds like this Karen was being deliberate.
Weddings are very high pressure situations for photographers, for videographers. If something fails, like let's say your battery dies, you run out of room on your SD card. There's so many things that can go wrong. Or you could fall in a pool with all of your camera equipment. Knowing that, I get why she reacted the way she did and why she snapped. So to me, you're not an a-hole. Like you're just trying to do your job and someone's making it very difficult for you.
Yeah, I mean, judging by what you said about turning lightly pink, which was a great little storytelling tidbit there. I don't think you're an a-hole. I think you're assertive, and I think you need to be assertive when you're directing, especially when there's like a lot of family members around who kind of want to be there. You kind of have to put your foot down.
You do, but may I?
You may.
Sometimes when I'm giving like criticism, like constructive criticism, I say it with a little smile, you know, like kiss and a slap is what actually Karen likes to say, your mom. Kiss and a slap, you know what Karen. I mean? When you're saying something like, I understand, but this was a request by the bride and groom and I'm going to need you to step aside because I really want to make this an amazing photo for her and you're getting in the way of that. You know, you kind of just say it in like a very calm, cool, and collected way. I understand that you were put in a position where you might not have been able to, and emotions happen, okay? But put a little smile on, even if it's a little petty, a little passive-aggressive when giving feedback like that.
I think I like giving, you know, the serial killer smile where it's like you smile with just your mouth.
And like the wide eye.
Or no, I mean, that's creepy, but I'm talking about like people who smile from the nose down, so it's not real. It's like, hi.
So, yeah, for the future, I think if someone's being a pain like that, just say it with a little smile.
Just say, please, will you off?
Thank you.
GTFO.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Canadian.
All right, let's see some of your responses. Not the a-hole. You were the one being paid by the couple to take pictures.
I agree.
Not her, not anybody else. If they are in your way, you're allowed to ask them to remove themselves. And I don't think you were too harsh. OP responds, thank you. The comments are calming my nerves for sure. I understand that you're worried about like being the a-hole in this situation, but like who cares? What's she gonna do?
Oh, she's gonna cry about it? She's gonna widowy cry?
Not the a-hole. You were following the request of the bride and groom, and unfortunately Karen would not listen until you snapped. There was more than one indiscretion, all right? You were driven to the point where you snapped. Sometimes you need to be an a-hole in the moment to put the true a-hole in their place. As long as the bride and groom were fine with it, you are not the a-hole. I have a feeling this isn't the first boundary Karen and Susan have stomped on with the couple. All right, I think the general consensus. You are not the a-hole, my dear.
You're not the a-hole.
You're not the a-hole.
She's a stinky little a-hole.
Stinky bum.
With dingleberries.
Stinky bum.
And I'm sure maybe it was a misunderstanding. Like maybe she just got really excited and got in the way and got like, you know, a little offended because it's her family.
Who cares?
My stalker hid in my apartment for months, and it turns out it was my landlord. 3 years ago, I was trying to get out of a toxic relationship. My boyfriend was extremely controlling and possessive. He would show up to my job just to make sure that I was actually there, and after 6 months of living together, I'd had enough. I planned everything perfectly. I told my parents to meet me at our apartment at 2 in the morning. I only took my passport and my wallet and left while my ex was sleeping. After that, I had to get a restraining order from him because he kept stalking me. Needless to say, I never thought this would happen to me ever again. Moved in with my parents, and trust me, I would have lived with them forever had it not been for the fact that I landed my dream job in a different city. My parents helped me move into this really beautiful duplex. The day we moved in, we met my landlords. They were a cute couple in their 40s. They looked so kind and sweet. Once I moved in, everything was wonderful. I decorated the apartment exactly how I liked it. My dream job was amazing, and I even started dating again. But I started hearing noises. Sometimes I would hear furniture being moved upstairs. When I would run upstairs, nothing was there. And then I started hearing a man moaning. Things would be moved around when I would come home. One time I found my fridge open, and my underwear would always go missing. I decided to install cameras, and 2 days after that, I heard more moaning. I called the police immediately, and when they showed up, they searched the house. Upstairs, in a guest bedroom full of boxes, they find my landlord. He had set up a mattress, food, and his laptop, even had a bag of clothes. And of course, on his laptop, they found videos of everything. Me with boys in my bedroom doing you-know-what, me in the shower. This man had cameras everywhere, and his mattress was full of you-know-what. Thank God he was prosecuted, and his wife blamed me. I got a bigger house and moved my parents in with me. I will never date men again. What would you have done? Am I the asshole for stealing money to get a BBL? And the BBL almost killed me. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it's not made on Instagram. I'm 27 years old, and my life changed in 2017. I went kind of viral on Instagram after I posted some bikini pictures, and then I got a bunch of male followers. And to be honest, I have zero talents. I don't know how to cook, not a good actress. I'm really not good at anything other than like posting pictures. So I decided to make Instagram my job. My dream was to be like these other IG baddies. They all had BBLs, expensive cars, and they made so much money. So I decided to get a BBL. The problem is I was totally broke. So I came up with a plan and I didn't tell anybody. I would get my followers to send me about $200 and then I would send them pictures in return. But I would promise private stuff and I never sent it. I would send them like a bikini picture here and there, but these guys couldn't get their money back. So I just started blocking everyone who sent me money. After 3 months, I had 50K. I ran over to a plastic surgeon. I got my BBL, but it was gruesome. For 3 months, the recovery was horrible. I had to wear fajas and get massages. I went on a clean diet. Finally, after 3 months, I had my dream body. And when I started posting my new body, I gained 100,000 new followers. But then after 7 months, I started feeling sick all the time. I was really tired and had all these weird symptoms. And my butt would smell bad too. It was very hard to clean my new butt. That's when my doctor told me I had an infection from the BBL. I had to go on these crazy antibiotics and I gained a bunch of weight. I looked horrible. My butt was astronomical. I was sick for 7 months. Now my body does look good again, but I regret this decision so much. I always have complications and my butt smells bad. Would you do it?
Am I the asshole for being honest that we didn't enjoy our wedding and wish we eloped?
I don't know. Maybe.
My wife and I got married about 3 weeks ago. I love her and have no regrets marrying her, but we both massively regret having a traditional wedding when we both wanted to elope.
Okay.
We ended up not eloping due to family pressure, mostly from her parents who made her feel bad being their only daughter and potentially, quote, denying them the chance to see their daughter get married, and said she'd regret having, quote, her moment. In actuality, it seemed they just wanted to have their moment. The last year was so full of unnecessary drama, and while each of our parents contributed to paying for the wedding, we still ended up putting a lot up ourselves. Everything just kept getting more and more expensive, not that we expected to get a ton in wedding gifts, but the cash gifts we got did not make up for what we paid. Overall, it was a year of stress, a bunch of drama over things like who should be in the wedding party / invited to the wedding, and all the wedding drama I always heard about. The actual day of wasn't fun either. Both of us get mild social anxiety, big part of why both of us wanted to elope, and it was as bad as we expected it to be. We got back from our honeymoon Thursday, and this weekend we were at her parents' house for Father's Day. They really wanted to pat themselves on the back for convincing us to do the traditional wedding and kept making comments like, see, wasn't that so much fun?
Oh my god.
I hate these people.
Yeah.
At first, we'd politely agree and tried to change the subject, but I kind of broke towards the end of the night when they made a suggestion that we disagreed with, and my mother-in-law said, oh, honey, of course it's your decision, but just remember, I was right about the wedding, and I think I'm right about this.
No. God damn.
I'd bring out a baseball bat, personally. I just lost it and then told them all about how much we hated the experience. They asked my wife if it's true, and she broke down and said it's 100% true. She hated the whole experience. We left shortly after, but then this morning her dad calls me saying how rude I was and how he wants me to go over there and apologize to his wife in person.
No.
I don't think I should, but I just wanted to get some outside perspective.
No, dude.